Before we get into the video, I do want to basically give you guys like a congratulations, even though it's for this channel. If you are a new subscriber, go ahead and subscribe below. And if you are a current part of this family, this community that we're building over here, big shout out to you, because we have now touched 3,000 subscribers. 3,000 subscribers is crazy. I remember literally July of last year when we first touched 1,000 and became monetized. I want to say like October or November of last year. So, you know, that was major when it happened. But now we're at 3,000 subscribers. So big shout out to y'all that support this channel every day, that watch these videos, that share these videos, that comment on these videos. I respond to every comment that I can find, every comment I'm really able to. So, you know, I couldn't do this without you guys. I appreciate the support. Big thank you. Big thank you. Big thank you. Big thank you. Now we're going to go ahead and get into the topic. Say you're a CNA, you've been a CNA, or you're in a CNA program, you work in a hospital, or you work in a nursing home facility, or a skilled nursing facility, or an assisted living. These are all different things that you can do. Oh, home health. These are all different things that you can do with your CNA certification. Even though you have went through an entire program, whether that program was super long or super short, it doesn't matter. Your program definitely forgot to teach you some things. Now, they went over the basis, the main factor, the main points, which would be skills. And then the other part would be kind of like the intangibles. The intangibles we didn't focus on as much. Skills were mainly important because that's the basis of your job. But there are some things that your CNA course forgot to mention, forgot to teach you. And typically it isn't really taught. It's more so acquired. So I'm going to go over some of the 5 things that I've learned that my CNA course did not teach me. And I know that this is consistent with everybody because I asked other people, and this is stuff that your CNA course did not teach you at all. So I'm gonna go ahead and get into that list. Again, don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to like, don't forget to comment. If you like this video or see through the almost 100 videos that I have and see something you like, go ahead and like it. Go ahead and check it out. See if you can rock with it, because if you like this video, I promise you there's probably 4 to 5, maybe even 10 other videos that are similar, and you would like those as well. So go ahead and do that for your boy. We're at 3K. Next goal is 5K. I want at least 30 comments per video. I'm not sure if that'll actually happen, but let's, you know, strive for it. And also, we're doing good on likes. We always do good on likes. So yeah, go ahead and support the channel, because I'm gonna continue to put out this content for you guys. Now we're going to go over the 5 things. The title of it is going to be what your CNA course did not teach you, and we're going to go over number 1 right now. Number 1, your CNA course did not teach you how to work with others. Now, this is more so a team-based industry. Even though you are working alone, it's everybody's job on the unit or everybody's job in the facility. I'm trying to speak on both, whether you work in a hospital or you work in a facility or a nursing home. It's everybody's job at the facility or at the place to take care of the patient. These patients cannot take care of themselves for the most part. They cannot do certain things for themselves. And even though the patient is assigned to you, whether you being the nurse or you being the CNA, or you being a medical assistant, it's everybody's job to kind of help everybody out if they have the ability to. And typically you do have the ability to. So learning how to work in others is definitely something that your CNA course did not teach you. It makes everybody's day easier. It makes everybody's shift easier. And these patients need you. So if I can double up on a bigger patient to help roll them or turn them, I'm going to go out and ask that person, hey, can you, help me roll or turn this patient? And I'm going to help slide up the patient. I'm going to help clean the patient. I'm going to help bathe the patient. Like, it's a teamwork. And you have to learn to work with others. This wasn't so much of an importance during my CNA program, but I'm noticing in the field, this is definitely something that should be spoken about more, and definitely something that you're going to need to know. 100%. Number 2, the bedside manner with patients. Your CNA course did not teach you how to have a conversation with a patient. Only time and experience And actually caring can do that. Now, me, I'm a conversationalist by heart, conversationalist by nature. I love speaking to people. I love commenting. I love conversing back and forth. But it is time consuming, especially when you have a lot to do. I get caught up in some conversations, typically because I'm a CNA, but I do know when I become a nurse, I'm going to have to slow that down just a little bit because you have other patients you have to, care for. You have other meds you got to pass. You have other assessments you got to do. As a CNA, when I finish vitals and I finish, bathing, or I finish, helping the nurse change the dressing, I have a little bit more ample time than an actual nurse does. But the bedside manner with patients need to be at a high level, especially if you work in healthcare as a CNA. And if you even plan to go into nursing too, learn how to communicate with patients, learn how to, show a caring side, whatever caring side you have. Some are more caring than others, of course, but make sure you are able to exude that to your patient and express that to your patient. In certain situations, your patients will need that. The bedside manner is definitely something that you need to be looking at, observing other nurses, find your groove, find your flow, and go at it that way. So, for example, for me, I try to find similarities within my patients. I speak to my patients all the time when I walk in the room. I'm not just one of those that come in and do my vitals and dip. I'm like, hey, how's your day? Like, what's going on? You feeling any pain? Oh, that's a nice tattoo. Where'd you get that? Oh, you got it in Japan. That's awesome. You know what I mean? And it's not more so like fake. It's just more so like, trying to make the patient feel as comfortable as possible during the interaction with me. That's more so what I care about. And you might end up learning something. Patients talk to me all the time, and I learn something from patients every day. Every day. Number 3 is how to critically think. Again, CNAs have to critically think too. This is more so expressed toward nurses a lot in healthcare, learn how to critically think in certain situations. But as a tech, you will need to critically think as well. You're getting a blood pressure and it's a little elevated or a little low. You can let the nurse know, or you can not let the nurse know. Typically, you are caring for people. You are taking care of people. So you need to be as kind of like thinking about their health as much as possible. Sometimes when certain things are going on, I, reach out to the nurse and say, hey, this is what's going on. I think it's this. Just to throw it out there. See what they say, because you might end up being right. A couple times throughout my year and a half, or not year and a half, I'm lying. Year and like a couple months of my experience as a tech, I have, brought up something to a nurse and she was like, oh yeah, or he was like, oh yeah, that is right. You know what I mean? So definitely learn how to critically think. This is really important, especially the more acuity you have for your unit. This is definitely something that you're going to have to help the nurse do. You are a part of the healthcare team. Even though you are in tech or CNA, which is typically low on the scale, you still have an importance on that healthcare team as well. So let your voice be heard. Don't be loud and wrong. Don't be loud at all, but be heard for sure. Number 4 is how to deal with bodily fluids. I've done a video on this actually before, so make sure you go look down the list and find that video. I might put it in the description below, but learning how to deal with bodily fluids as a tech in certain situations, depending on what floor you work on, a unit you work on, you will have to deal with it a lot more than other techs. When I was working on the neuro floor, and I say this often, when I was working in neuro, I dealt with bodily fluids a lot more than I deal with it now on the cardiac side. Patients can ambulate themselves. They can take themselves to the bathroom. You're just there as a standby to ensure that they don't fall, stable on their feet. But in neuro, they can't get up. They can't call for a bedpan typically because it's a stroke floor, aneurysm floor. And they might, BM on themselves, urine on themselves. And it's your job to handle that. It's your job to clean that up. And you deal with it a lot. I did it for 7 months before I left that unit. So dealing with bodily fluids, no one lets you know. And if you're understaffed and you got to do it alone, it sucks. But dealing with bodily fluids is definitely something that your CNA program did not teach you. I can't express this enough. I'll tell y'all a story. One time I was working in a facility, because I worked for an agency, but I was working in a facility and I walk into a room and I'm coming, just to check on patients around or whatever. And the patient is covered in poop. I mean, not just like bed covered in poop. I mean like poop on hands, poop on face, poop in mouth. poop on ears. This is not to push anybody away from the industry, but I definitely had to gown up, double mask up, put the face guard up, and it was our job to clean that patient off. We had to put her in the chair, take her in the shower room, spray her down, clean her down, and that was something that happened. You know, again, this job is not for everybody, and it's not easy being greasy. I say that all the time. It's not easy being a CNA. This job is not for the weak. It's not easy being a CNA. This job is not for the weak at all, but that's definitely something that happened and definitely something that you may have to deal with within your time. Sometimes it's throw up, sometimes it's urine, sometimes it's, you know, a bag opens, a colostomy bag opens, or flexi seal. It's a whole thing. If you got more questions about that, comment below and I'll see my best if I can answer them. But we're moving on to the next one. This is actually one that I haven't done a video about, like, my cold story, and I'll save that for another video. But this, I'm throwing this in there with the bodily fluids because this is something that, you know, is key when working in healthcare, especially if you're in a hospital. Typically in the nursing home, everybody is basically like DNR. You have a few full codes, you have a few partial codes, but typically if they, you know, they pass or transition, they transition. Point blank, period. But in a hospital, you have these things called codes. In hospitals, you have these things called codes, which is basically when a patient flatlines. And it's a big thing. Like, you have to, you know, get the crash cart, give compressions. Again, I'm not talking about this on this video. I'm going to stay away from this topic 100%. But your CNA program did not teach you about codes whatsoever. You talk about it a lot when you get your CPR certification, but a code is for my CNAs that have experienced the code. I'll do a video on my code experience. If you want to see a video of my code experience, go ahead and put it below. But my first code was heart-wrenching. But yeah, so your program did not teach you how to deal with codes. Codes are a whole different. It's so hard to even explain what a code does to your mental, and if you know you can, you know, kind of sustain the job as a CNA after. I've seen people quit after codes. So there you have it. But your program did not teach you how to deal with codes. You are going to have to go through that. And when you do, I want you guys to be prepared. So I will make another video about that. But let's move on to the very last one. And it's how to not burn out in healthcare as a tech. Now, full time, I tell you guys this all the time, it's 36 hours. You work 3 12-hour shifts. There are things that you can do to decrease the stress, decrease the pain, decrease the exhaustion that working as a CNA requires or involves itself with. I do yoga. I work out. I drink water. I eat right. I sleep right. Granted, I'm sleepy a lot of the times because of class and everything, but I make sure to get my naps and I make sure to do everything that I need to do to have the best shift that I can have. And burnout is so easy to hit, especially if you have like a family, a wife, a husband, kids, you know, stresses of like rent and like just it's a lot. It's a lot. So how to not burn out is definitely important, but I got you guys covered because I've done a video on that as well. That will be in the description below. But if not, I've done a couple ways that I, you know, did with decompressing from work in my list of videos. So I want you guys to go look at that list of videos that I have and go check out something that you like. You might find something you like. And if you do, I want you guys to share it, like, comment, all that good stuff. Okay. But again, those are my 5, actually 6, because I added the code. Those are my 6 that I have for you guys for this video. Thank you for 3,000 subs, 100%. I couldn't have done it without you guys at all. It's a rainy day here in NC, but I got some more content coming out for you guys, and the next goal is 5,000. My birthday's coming up soon, so expect some vlogs. I'm gonna ask you guys, do you want to see like a content on me and my girlfriend? She's a nurse as well. I haven't disclosed that at all, but she's a nurse as well. And yeah, I want to be able to kind of give you guys what you want. So nice video today. Definitely something I've been planning on doing for a while, but I'm glad I was able to knock it out today. Thank you for the support and love that I get from this channel daily. And yeah, don't forget to keep checking in. Don't forget to keep watching, and I will keep pumping these videos out for you guys. That's all I got for you today. Stay tuned for the next one, and I'll see you soon. Peace.